I guess first was Monday afternoon. It's obviously started raining very heavily. I managed to get a hold of my parents and get them to bring some stuff out, like batteries for my our lights and all that sort of stuff. And they brought that out, and then it's obviously got a lot heavier and heavier, and then we didn't really sleep much that night. Got up in the morning and sort of got locked outside and sort of saw all the destruction and how bad it actually was. It was pretty scary to see. When I walked out in the morning, I sort of heard a bit of a rumble and looked up to the hill. It sounded like an earthquake sort of coming, and looked up to the hill, and probably 60, 70 metre wide slip just come straight off the hill, straight onto the road. As far as I know, it pushed the neighbours' cars off their driveway into their shed, and couple of cows sort of come down with it, and that. It was pretty horrific. Yeah, we managed to climb up to the neighbour's property. Our driveway was destroyed. We managed to get up to the neighbour's property and sort of talk to him, and he's got a 4-wheel drive, so we managed to get from his place down to the river and had a look down there, and just saw all the destruction down there, how bad it was, and where the water had been. The river was at least 5 times wider than what it normally was, and probably 4 or 5 metres. It had risen overnight. From what we've been told, we got 630 mils of rain in about 10 hours. Massive amount of rain.
That was our biggest concern about being stuck out there, I think, because our property wasn't flooded, but we were stuck and we couldn't get into town if we needed to, and we knew we weren't going to for a long time. So she spent her first 8 days of her life in Skaboo, so we were a bit concerned about her and needing midwife checkups and that. So her feeding properly and the 2-year-old feeding properly were probably the biggest concern as we started to get low on food and the freezer started to defrost. So that was the concern. And when we heard Powell was going to be out for another couple of weeks for Napier, we thought, well, that's going to be us for much longer than that, and we can't stay here with a newborn baby and a 2-year-old. So that's when we sort of started to panic a little bit and think we need to get out of here. Yeah, well, I think it was Wednesday afternoon, sort of, we decided we needed to sort of get out and see what was going on and see what was happening. So I put the baby in the front pack, and Matt had Sadie, and he got through the first slip, and I took about 2 steps into the slip and just fell straight on my bum with the baby in the front pack. So Matt had to come get the baby off me, and I somehow managed to get out of the mud, was up to the top of my gumboots, and it was scary at the time, but funny to look back on.
They flew in, and then sort of every hour or so till about sort of 7 o'clock at night they were flying around, and then Thursday morning I woke up and decided I'd try and wave the helicopters down. So I managed to wave down a Westpac rescue helicopter, and they landed in our paddock and got us out of there. So
it all happened pretty quickly from when we waved it down to when we were back in town, which was good.
Within sort of 3-4 hours we were rescued and out of there. So
the baby was fine, but the 2-year-old screamed at the top of her lungs the whole time. So the man in the back of the helicopter was great, trying to calm her and try help put a seatbelt on her, but it was not happening. And she was just tired, I think. By the time we got on the bus at Bridge Park, she fell asleep. So, that was stressful. Everyone back on the side was very worried about us, and everyone was very emotional. I guess we sort of knew we were fine, so it wasn't as emotional for us. But lots of tears, even seeing some friends and stuff. And I had a friend in Wellington that was helping Mum sort of coordinate on social media, had anyone heard from us and all of that. So it was a big group effort to try track us down. My sister in Perth was added herself on the Puketap page and contacting Civil Defence and all of that. So I can only imagine how stressful it was for everyone actually not knowing if we were okay, and they knew we had the baby and stuff. So
3.5 days sort of thing, yeah.
So yes, it was
very concerned.
It was very emotional, but I think more emotional for everyone else than us, to be honest. it was just a relief to be back in town and know that if we need help, if we need help with the baby, we can get it, and we're just so much luckier than lots of other people.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. To stay up to date with all the latest news from the New Zealand Herald, click the subscribe button below or check out one of the videos here, and head over to nzherald.co.nz for more details on these stories and more.